Mine starts really with a great question posed by, I don't know, I haven't seen Chris this morning. I'm not sure he's here, but he said to me last time, a couple of weeks ago, he said, do you think people know what you do? And I said, well, yeah, kind of, but in truth, probably not in its entirety. So I thought I'm going to go back to basics and do a very simple presentation today just about what I do. But before that, as Lex was just alluding to as well, actually, I want to take you through why I do it. And I've been very lucky actually last year because I've felt for quite some time that I've been close to knowing what my purpose was. And probably if you kind of looked at it in perhaps a big American freeway with 8 or 9 lanes, that I was somewhere within that. Whereas now I feel like I've really found my lane and that I've honed down on it. And that is to share love, light and laughter. And I can do that in all sorts of different ways. So it doesn't change what I do in terms of work and such like, but that is the underpinning. That's the foundation. That's what I come back to each time. So I feel like I've found my groove. I've found my purpose and really I'm able to live that out. And one of the great things that does is it gives me a real feeling of energy that is just permanently there, that I can tap into all the time, which is lovely. I'm not going to go through how that came about because that's a whole presentation in its own right, but just want to take you through what I'm doing. So in terms of the what, in simple terminology, coaching, training, speaking, comparing, you can make your own aspersions as to how well I do that one, and broadcasting now as well, which is just posh for podcast, by the way. And breaking that down a little bit more, in terms of the coaching, yes, you can come to me on a ad hoc basis, certainly. But I think where you will really get the most value is by doing one of my programs. And the 3 most popular are around finding your purpose, getting better relationships, and really building your confidence up as well. In terms of training, NLP, so that's already been mentioned this morning once, neuro-linguistic programming. It's not as complicated as what it sounds, because really it's just about human behavior, and we're all humans and we all behave, and some people misbehave, but more about Lee later. Leadership, do some leadership development programs. Communication, it's communication with other people, but communication with yourself as well. And also empowerment. So as many of you know, I'm big into my fire walking, but that also includes things like walking on broken glass, snapping arrows with your neck, which some of you have done, and various other things along those lines as well. And then in terms of presenting, well, that can be guest speaking, that can be comparing an event, being an anchorman, as Jackie calls me, or a seminar host indeed. A few things in terms of certifications and such like, not saying it from a point of view of, oh, look at me. It's just to hopefully give you a bit more confidence in the credibility that I do know what I'm talking about, and I haven't just suddenly decided that this is what I'm doing. So you're pleased to know that I am a certified fire walking instructor. I didn't just decide that I would set fire to things and then try walking on it. I learned how to do it, and it's really important. Got NLP coaching practitioner and also NLP master practitioner, and I train it as well. I've got a certification in being an empowerment coach. HNLP is humanistic neuro-linguistic psychology, which is a hell of a mouthful. And then something called breath power as well, which is a great breathwork session that I do. I've done some diplomas as well, which is corporate wellness coach, life purpose coach, and then I'm working towards something that's called 3 principles. And then, as you would hope, I do, because I'm into this kind of stuff, I live and breathe it. And quite literally, breathing is really important, and consciously breathing in particular. So there's some continued personal development. I've done just this last year. I've just done breath mastery fundamentals, which is Dan Brulé. Dan Brulé is one of the absolute masters at breath work in the whole of the world. He's absolutely superb. Wrote a brilliant book called Just Breathe, which I would highly recommend to all of you. Wim Hof, of course, much more well-known name in that sense, the Iceman. So Wim Hof method in terms of the breath work he does, but also I now do cold showers every day, which is a brilliant addition to your daily routine, and I would highly recommend that. So ways that you can connect with me: you can come onto my Facebook group, as some of you already are, which is lovely to have you there. You can just search on Facebook for Love, Light and Laughter. I've also got a new podcast out, which has been going since just the tail end of last year, and that's called 108 Big Words. It's big word conversations, things like miracles, love, faith, those types of really big words that end up being big word conversations. So I'm also online to do 108 episodes by the end of this year. So it's quite a tall ask. 108 is a very significant number, as many of you may know, and there's a number of different reasons. For example, one of the meanings of 108 is that the 1 represents I, or the self, the O represents the world, and then the 8 represents infinity. It's also considered to be spiritual wholeness in yogi speak. Hinduism is very important. Sanskrit, it means peace, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of significance around that number, which is why I chose that. I'm also on YouTube, so I've done some things like sleep meditations, which you can listen to me. So if you want to go to sleep listening to me, well, who am I to stop you? Please feel free to. Also some other things on there, like some of you may remember the videos I've made, like my connection video and such like, which they're all on the same YouTube channel. You can easily get to it by samdyer.co.uk and then /YouTube. And subscribe as well, please. That's always a big help for that. And then, of course, I'm on social media, as you would probably expect. So you can get me on Facebook, you can get me on LinkedIn, and also Instagram as well. I do quite like Instagram. I wouldn't say I'm amazing at it. Don't necessarily post all that often, but I do enjoy that one. I like the visual nature of it, appeals to me. So just look me up at Sam Dyer or at Sam Dyer Official. And all that just leaves me to say is, well, what if this was you? And this was a very lovely testimonial I had some time ago. Making the commitment to help yourself isn't something we all rush to do. But when you do make that decision and you have Sam on your side, it becomes a less apprehensive or foreboding activity. Instead, change happens naturally and organically, and you might not even realize it until you find yourself smiling where before there were only frowns. And I love that. And, Jules will know this, and any of the other coaches, hypnotherapists and other therapists that we've got. When you get testimonials like that, it absolutely just warms your heart, because that's what it's all about. So lovely to get that kind of thing through. And that's it.